You wake up tomorrow with Jeff Bezos' current net worth, $209 billion USD. What do you do? Batman isn't just money. He's also the culmination of long years of physical and mental training and the mastery of countless skills. If I tried to become Batman with my billions, I'd just wind up as a shinier, less fit version of Kick-Ass, except without the comedic accidental victories. The first criminal I'd try to subdue would whoop my ass and then steal my gadgets to sell for drug money. There's like a upside-down bell curve of ramen eating to income ratio. When you're poor you eat ramen. Then somewhere around being able to support yourself and invest in future generations you suddenly rediscover the wonders of ramen. Source: watched my husband go through this. Man loves his slow-cooked tonkatsu broth. So, hey, if you ever actually win the lottery or whatever, will you message me about the paintball tournament you'll be hosting? Literally the first thought that enters my head whenever I enter the grocery store or wherever is this place would be an incredible paintball arena. An IKEA show building would be the fucking tits of paintball arenas. My plan, when I win the lottery, is to buy a cruise ship and turn it into a hardcore laser tag/paintball arena. It would be a 2 or 3 day experience with teams and maybe some independent characters to guide, distract. My original thought was to make it Alien/S themed, but that might be too limiting. Either way, it's going to be totally worth it. Being most realistic, I'd probably experience 30 seconds of total joy and excitement, followed by a crippling several hours of anxiety panic attack as the realization sets in that nearly every human alive would be willing to kill me for a fraction of that money, that the rest of my life will be spent in the national spotlight, that this will ultimately destroy every relationship I've ever built. Don't get me wrong, I'm still taking the money. I'm not trying to push some money can't buy happiness bullshit, but I think I'd need to keep this an absolute secret from everyone until I get a rock-solid battle plan of affairs in order. Once the media finds out, you'd better not be anywhere that a horde of desperate lunatics can find you, or your family, loved ones. They're great for ransom. Pay off all my debt. Pay off the debt of all my family and closest friends. Buy land in the mountains on a lake and build our dream house along all the toys for lake life and a big guest house. Buy our dream cars. Travel the world. Build and fund homeless shelters that will provide people with a private room with their own kitchenette and bathroom, 3 nutritious meals a day, medical care, access to mental health professionals, access to job training and career coaching, transportation to work and interviews, and assistance to help them transition out of the shelter once they are back on their feet. Build and fund animal shelters that will provide animals with veterinary care, daily exercise, play, and their own comfortable rooms. The goal would be to make the animals feel like they're already in a home and not a cold, concrete kennel. Build and fund high-quality senior citizen living facilities that include security measures to prevent and monitor for abuse. Also provide an appropriate salary for staff. Make donations toward converting to clean energy sources and other things to help combat climate change, like helping farmers make food production more sustainable. Fund free school breakfast and lunch for all children. ETA. Wow, thanks for the awards everyone. Didn't expect that lol. Buy Unmac Island in the Bering Sea, 200,000 acres including a volcano for a measly $16.5 million, and as it's only accessible via air and boat at certain times of the year gives me some nice privacy. Construct a castle on the property in Gothic Revival style of architecture. Include modern features like electricity and heating but still try to keep it like a real Gothic castle with similar materials as used throughout history. Must be at least 100,000 square feet as I like room to put my feet up. Bring polar bears to the island, hopefully some are there already, giving them proper food sources so their population can thrive. I want the island to be basically infested with polar bears, like have a higher density than anywhere else on the world, and breed them for aggression. Transportation around the island would need to be done in caged vehicles outfitted with 50 calories rifles to defend against the rampaging threat of hyperviolent polar bears. Hire a staff of 100 military contractors to protect the island from another staff of 100 military contractors I have pitted against each other. Hire a harem of beautiful women who constantly seek my attention, continually deny their advancements because I'm not into women. Spend most of the day shed posting on Reddit and trying to live modestly. After doing all the responsible things like talking with lawyers, accountants, and brokers, I will first do something for myself. Buy a pinball machine. I've always wanted one, and that's my extravagant gift that I would buy for myself if I ever had the money to burn. My second thing is to quit my job, after they find a replacement for me, and go to work on charities. I first want to work on a way to renovate old buildings and turn them into housing for the homeless. These will be nice living spaces for people in need, but it won't just be living spaces either. There will be a rec room, gym, a cafeteria, a daycare, therapy offices, an office to help people find jobs, and even a methadone clinic. I want to help people get back on their feet. When I see people down on their luck, I don't like myself because all I want to do is help, but I don't have the finances to do so. If I woke up to find myself the richest person in the world, how could I not want to help everyone? I guess it's been a dream of mine to help people in this way. I want to make an impact in the world for the better. Edit. Thank you for the awards. Also grammar. I would be building all kinds of affordable housing for starters. Also, I would be funding a myriad of initiatives including setting up spay-neuter clinics in places like India, Northern Canada, etc., where the street dogs suffer immensely, fully funding anti-poaching units like the Black Mambas and the cashing up large endowments to groups like the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust and Wildlife SOS. I'd love to get involved in providing funding for women, families in poor countries to have clean, safe housing, access to birth control and health care, along with training for them to have small businesses or run small farms to grow and sell food, etc., etc., etc. There's just so much good a person can do with that kind of money. The possibilities are endless. Mine is to find the ocean clean up, really take care of the plastic patch, fund solar energy in the Sahara and Nevada, buy a lot of land in the Amazon and have it guarded from loggers and farmers, fund social programs in the areas responsible for pollution, education to the population so that they understand what they are doing and have the means for it not to be the easiest way of getting rid of their trash. First, I don't tell anyone jack shit, except my wife. Second, I call a lawyer. Third, I set up anonymous trusts for all my family members and close friends so they get a monthly check for the rest of their lives. I also set up yearly gifts to my favorite charities. Fourth, I buy a lot of land in the mountains and build a home in the middle, with guest houses for friends and family. Fifth, I built the most awesome home computers, network, and storage. Sixth, I buy a great sports car, truck, and sedan. I also find a 1959 Cadillac and have it restored with modern engine, transmission, brakes, and suspension. Seventh, travel the world and enjoy life. This is also my plan if I ever win the lottery. Edit, spelling lol. Edit, to all the people saying what am I going to do with the rest and I'm being selfish. In step 3 I will give away $208 billion to family, friends, general people I know and a multitude of charities. Depends if people know that I have that much money, if it's legally mine, and how I have that money. If I woke up with my house full of cash, then I would have the hardest time spending huge quantities of cash without being suspicious to the IRS or whatever federal agency. I would lower my usual spending of my credit card, but not immediately. Also probably gift some to family and friends. Go to bars or restaurant, pay cash, and tip generously. Avoid buying anything too flashy, new car, new house, etc., while keep working at my job. If the money was legally mine, then I would reinvest in myself first, work on health, pay off house, and set aside money for wife and kids in mutual funds as inheritance. Then educate myself in medicine. I would really like to cure a disease, not just a temporary vaccine or a new pill, but a real cure, something I haven't heard of since the polio vaccine. First, I would take steps to ensure that nobody would find out I had the money. Then selfish things, homes and trust funds for all the people I care about, including me. I'd buy a few luxury items like really great luggage, perfectly tailored clothes, some custom jewelry. I'd take our friends wherever they wanted to go, anywhere in the world. I would buy so many art supplies and tools and classes. That still isn't going to put a noticeable dent in the money. Unselfish stuff. I would hire experts to help me solve as many of the world's problems as possible. I doubt we could create a post-scarcity world, but we could change a lot of things for the better. Clean up the oceans, make lab-grown meat available to everyone, provide better educational opportunities for everyone, beautiful schools with dedicated teachers, set up in such a way that was respectful of cultures and beliefs wherever possible, and set up safe, truly safe, places for young people who needed to escape from dangerous environments. In addition to a million other awesome things, I would set up a whole bunch of labs all over the country to take care of all the backlogged rape kits that are just sitting there, helping no one. There are a lot of logistics that I obviously don't know the ins and outs of, but I could easily hire people to advise me, like, we would need a shitload more lab techs, etc., so gotta find a way to ensure there are enough. I'd be paying well enough, with benefits, so people would definitely like working there. Would love to set up actual SVUs in at least all major cities. This would all start in America, but hopefully can expand to other countries. Think there needs to be an international database of DNA if there isn't one already. Buy a really big boat with a helicopter pad, a helicopter, a smaller boat or two, live on it and sail the world. Also, give random people random things. Overhear a dude at a bar saying he's never seen Mount Rushmore. Let's go bro, we leave in 10. Little kid wants a Ferrari, here's the keys kid. A lady saying she wishes she had a lifetime supply of the vibrators, here you go lady. Trust fund of $1 million for use in purchasing sex toys. Send me some pics now and then. Old lady wants to feel young again and spend a year doing extreme sports until she dies. Let's go Edith, time to let your hair out. Pay off people's medical bills and student loans. Anonymously invest in my friend's startup, pay off some mortgages, buy myself a house or two, do drugs and party, buy land around Native American reservations and give it back to the tribes, build hospitals around the world, do a Scott's Tots thing for a school but actually do it, get my friend's book published, fund research for medicine and climate change, create sustainable food and water resources in communities that need it, hire people to do a lot of this stuff for me, buy a boat or something with what's left. Flood hospitals and education systems with needed currency to help stimulate their effectiveness. Dump money into researching genetic disorders, mental illness, and augmentations to replace damaged limbs, organs. Fund huge agriculture developments teaching children and adults to live off the land and grow their own food. Launch massive propaganda campaigns to eradicate everyone that is left-handed. Buy enough marijuana and alcohol to never have to leave the house again. Right, so this is a lot of money and I'm going to give it nearly all away. First things first, I'm going to get my wisest and most trusted friends and hire them to work with me. I'm going to need them, as I'm going to have a lot of people circling round me soon. Assuming I have Bezos Amazon shares, I'd implement a profit share with Amazon employees right away. They're making me rich and they deserve it. Next, I'm going to buy a sweet cabin complex of awesome cabins, where I will host the best minds, weighing up their opinions on how to use the money to make the biggest impact. The people I like most will join the crew of people whose task will be to make the world better. Obviously, we'll also need a large team of doers/staff to implement the things we're working towards. After deciding on a handful of things we think the money can really help with, we get to work. I'm thinking some charitable things like environmental projects and creating better outcomes for children across the world, especially the poorest. Alongside this, I reckon we might invest in some businesses that massively accelerate sustainable change in our fossil fuel use. But hey, I want to listen to the experts, and who knows what they come up with, so I'm open-minded around other things. but it's definitely going to include the above, at least. Finally, I'm going to get into political lobbying, hard, all over the world. This might be controversial, but if I'm going to be giving away $208 billion plus, I need to know that governments are working with me. Fairer tax laws, investment in kids and young people, schools, seriously rehabilitating drug addicts and criminals. Positive legislation around climate change would be top of the agenda here. I have money and influence now, and I'm absolutely going to use it for systemic change. And alongside the lobbying, I'm going to leverage my dollar to get the policies that work to my aims. Do good stuff with taxpayer money and we'll be there to massively help out. If not, we won't. On a selfish level, and this is small fry in the context of billions, maybe $100 million for this, which is a ridiculously huge amount of money to enjoy and live off. I love where I live, so I wouldn't move, but I'd buy up as many houses in my area as possible and get friends to move in. Buy a football, soccer club, which I could help sustainably build and grow for fun. Build an amazing cabin in the woods and or by the sea. As mentioned above, go on sweet holidays. Put aside £500,000 for each of my kids, nieces and nephews for them to access when they're older, plus buy one of the houses mentioned above in their name each. The rest of the money goes to above causes when I die. Inflation will create trillionaires pretty quickly, in USD. Of course, in other currencies, there have been plenty of them. Mining an asteroid wouldn't be as lucrative on Earth as you might think. The common elements, metals, are only valuable in very large quantities, and those large quantities are on the wrong side of a fairly deep gravity well. And the valuable metals, elements, are only valuable because they're in short supply. You can't bring 100 tons of gold back from orbit, imagining some magical way to do that, and have the price not collapse. The major value is on orbit resources in some future economy where they're useful, but we're decades, if not centuries, away from having demand high enough in space to create real value. Automated fabrication from raw resources would create demand, but it would also enable huge reductions in costs of accessing future resources in space, which would put a substantial limit on values. Honestly, keep like 100 B to myself. Invested, it's enough to keep everyone I care about living like kings for generations pretty much. The rest 109 B invested as well, but with a huge part of the monthly profits going to the people that need it the most. The rest reinvested to make more money for those people. To reach these people, I'd create a charity called FCK and start spreading love and positivity around. Need like 10K for a needed treatment? Provide verifiable proof and I'll help. Try to scam me and get caught? Blacklist. Are ya a family trying to get food and somewhere to rest? I'll help out for a few months until you get up and running. That amount of money would allow me to help pretty much everyone. Real answer: donate $10 billion to start rebuilding an actual investigative, uncaptured press corps in this country to investigate powerful interests. Start buying local TV stations like crazy to prevent their capture by Sinclair and the right wing. This is how most low-information voters get their news. Start a program identical to the Thiel Fellowships, giving talented young people dollar with zero strings attached. Except 100x as many people. He did it with like a couple dozen people, $22 million total cost, a pittance, and one of them started fucking Ethereum and multiple others started unicorns. The societal benefit and value creation of that investment is insane, and I absolutely refuse to believe we've picked all the low-hanging fruit there. End world hunger, and do things like that. Maybe pay off medical bills for people. Pay people's education debts, bring schools and things like that to places that are perhaps too removed from the rest of the world. I'd also try to do something about global warming. What I could do, but I'd definitely research about it to help the environment. I would also create multiple big animal shelters for dogs who are in the streets or are abused and things like that. I'd give money to any organization that's truly honestly trying to make the world a better place. I would also maybe create an airline that does eco-friendly flights for a fraction of what an airplane ticket is usually worth. so that more people could travel around the world. I think that'd be nice. I would also create a research facility type thing where scientists from all over the world could go and work on new technologies that could help the world, giving these people access to anything they need for their experiments and research for a better, brighter future. I would also make multiple foundations and organizations that help multiple things. For example, a foundation, charity thing for poor and homeless people around the world, financial help for people who need to go to the doctor but don't have the money for it, etc. I would also pay the Amazon workers a lot more so that they don't rely on food stamps. I would work hard to make very pro-consumer changes to my companies and make it all very transparent so that there's no shady business going on. I would give a lot of opportunities and help to my workers to make sure they're happy working for me and they know they're truly honestly valued and cared for. I would also create shelters for people who are in bad situations, like LGBTQ+.